7,90,000 crore taka budget for 2025-26 fiscal placed. Revenue income target set at 5,64,000 crore taka. GDP growth target 5.5%. Finance advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed presented proposed budget for the next fiscal year through BTV. Government aims to build an inclusive, discrimination-free society with improved quality of life for all, says finance advisor. Tax-free limit for individual taxpayer set at 3,75,000 taka. July warriors to enjoy tax-free limit of 5,25,000 taka. 405 crore 20 lakh taka allocated for allowance, medical grants and rehabilitation of families of martyrs and injured of July uprising. Advisory Council approves proposed national budget for 2025-26 fiscal. National Consensus Commission begins second round of talks with political parties. Chief Advisor reaffirms July Charter to be formulated through consensus. Images of 6 newly designed denomination banknotes handed over to Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus. Jamaat-e-Islami, in a meeting with CEC, hands over copies of court verdict that directs EC to revoke its registration and symbol. High Court upholds death sentences for OC Pradeep, SI Liaquat and lifelong imprisonment for 6 others for killing Major Retired Sinha. Ukraine launches drone attack on 4 Russian airfields, claims destruction of 40 bombers. And Hamza Chaudhry arrives in Dhaka to play match against Singapore and Bhutan. Assalamu alaikum. This is News at 10. I'm Mahmoud Rahman. Those were the headlines. We move on now to details of those and other stories. A 7,90,000 crore taka national budget for the fiscal 2025-26 has been placed today. Finance advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed placed the budget through Bangladesh television. The proposed budget set a total revenue collection of 5,64,000 crore taka, including 4,99,000 crore taka from National Board of Revenue. Overall budget deficit, including grant, is 2,26,000 crore taka. The proposed budget has projection attaining a GDP growth of 5.5% in the coming fiscal year. In the proposed budget, total development expenditure is 2,45,609 crore taka, including ADP expenditure of 2,30,000 crore taka. Total operating and other expenditures 5,60,000 crore taka. In the upcoming 2025-26 fiscal year, 405 crore 20 lakh taka has been allocated for allowances, medical grants and rehabilitation for the families of martyrs and the injured of the July mass uprising. The tax-free annual income limit of individuals is 3,75,000 taka. The tax-free income limit for women and senior citizens above 65 years of age is 4,25,000 taka. The tax-free income limit for physically challenged persons is 5 lakh taka. The tax-free income limit for gazetted war-wounded freedom fighters is 5,25,000 taka. The tax-free income limit for gazetted July warriors injured in July mass uprising 2024 is 5,25,000 taka. The tax-free income limit for third gender taxpayers is 5 lakh taka. In the backdrop of Transform Bangladesh and July uprising, the national budget was presented outside our national parliament. The finance advisor, in an informal setup inside Bangladesh television studio, telecasted the proposed budget for 2025-26 fiscal. The finance advisor, Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed, paid rich tributes to the martyrs of glorious liberation war and also the martyrs of July uprising. He narrated how the interim government struggled to do better as it inherited a fragile economy. Dr. Ahmed said government has successfully combated the challenges relating to price hike of the essential commodities. He also showcased success in the remittance, maintaining steady flow in export, improving forex reserve and positive features of macroeconomic indicators. The advisor said the size of the proposed budget in 2025-26 fiscal is reduced than the size of budget in the previous year, which seems a pragmatic choice. Importance was given on making foundation of the economy stronger rather than boosting GDP or the pace of economic growth. He said government has stressed on rejuvenating the crumbling state institutions. Dr. Ahmed urged all to take opportunities created by the July uprising. Dr. Ahmed said due to absence of Parliament, the discussion and review of proposed budget will be done in a different way. A presidential ordinance will approve the budget on June the 30th. The new budget will be effective from the 1st of July 2025, he added. The volume of proposed budget for 2025-26 fiscal is 7,90,000 crore taka. Out of the total budget, operating costs have been estimated at 5,44,391 crore taka, while the Annual Development Programme, ADP, has been estimated at 2,45,609 crore taka. The proposed budget suggests highest allocation for public administration. The second highest is education and technology, and the third being transport and communication. Agriculture sector received allocation of 44,766 crore taka, which is 5.10%. Health sector was awarded 5.3% in 41,908 crore taka. The defence sector received 40,898 crore taka, which is 5.2% of total allocations. Public order and security received 33,603 crore taka, which is 4.3% of the total budget. Some windows were earmarked as priority sectors. Additional 425 crore was allocated for development of employment and entrepreneurship. Public-private partnership was given 5,040 crore taka. The July uprising martyred and injured warriors were awarded 405 crore 20 lakh taka. The proposed budget anticipated that 63.2% of income will come from revenue sector. NBR regulated tax was identified as prime source of this sector. It also predicted that internal loans will add 15.8% and foreign loan will contribute 12.2%. Non-tax sector will add 5.8%, non-NBR will contribute 2.4%, and finally foreign grant will contribute towards 0.6%. Prices of some products and services may go up, while some others may fall due to changes in tariff structure in the proposed budget fiscal year 2025-26, unveiled by Finance Advisor Dr. Salehuddin Ahmed this afternoon. Goods and services which will be cheaper include cancer drugs, insulin, sugar, sanitary napkin, airfare, newsprint paper, ice cream, locally made e-bike, LNG, clay pots, paper, plates, locally made monitors lower than 30 inches, lithium and Griffin battery, tyres, land registration fee, packaged milk, pet food, cricket bat and ink. On the other hand, products and services which will be costlier include fridge, AC, LPG cylinder, lift, mobile phones, washing machine, oven, blender, steel rod, cotton yarn, cotton plastic homeware, e-commerce, sales, cigarettes, flat, commercial space, soap and shampoo. The interim government has proposed an allocation of 4.05 billion taka for the families of martyrs and those injured in the July uprising in the national budget for the 2025-26 fiscal year. Finance Advisor Salehuddin Ahmed unveiled the proposed national budget of 7.90 lakh crore, marking his first budget presentation since his tenure as a central bank governor nearly a decade and a half ago. While announcing the allocations, Salehuddin Ahmed said the fund is aimed at preserving the memory and history of the July uprising, rehabilitating injured students and civilians, and institutionalizing the ideals and spirit of the movement within national life. He mentioned that the Department of July Uprising has already been established and initiatives are underway to transform Ganabhavan into the July Uprising Memorial Museum. The finance advisor also confirmed that a policy guideline will soon be formulated to initiate the disbursement of allowances for the affected families. Efforts are currently in progress to ensure proper treatment and rehabilitation for the injured. Finance advisor Dr. Saliuddin Ahmed in his budget speech said the government is working to develop a pool of skilled youth and create self-employment opportunities by utilizing their immense energy and potential. He said the Tarunnir Utsav Youth Festival 2025 has been celebrated with huge enthusiasm around the theme, "Let's change the country, change the world." To create self-employment, the ceiling of youth loans given to trained youths across the country has been increased to a maximum of 2 lakh taka. The finance advisor also said the loan ceiling for successful young entrepreneurs has been increased to 5 lakh taka. The Advisory Council at a special meeting on Monday approved the revised national budget for 2024-25, the proposed national budget for the fiscal year 2025-26 and the Finance Bill 2025-26. Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus presided over the meeting held at the Cabinet Room of the Chief Advisor's office at Tejgaon. Finance Advisor Saliuddin Ahmed and other advisors attended the meeting. BNP Standing Committee member Amir Khosru Mahmood Chaudhry has said the budget for the 2025-26 fiscal year should have been smaller, remarking that there is no connection between Bangladesh's revenue earnings and its national budget. He made the remarks during a press briefing with reporters at a hotel in the capital following the announcement of the budget by the government for foreign loans. For this reason, the budget should have been smaller. The former Commerce Minister further said that all of the country's revenue earnings are being spent on operating costs. As a result, the government has to rely entirely on loans, both domestic and foreign, for development purposes, which harms the economy, he added. However, people from all walks of life opined that whatever the size of the budget, it should be implemented without any irregularities and corruption. The Centre for Policy Dialogue, CPD, has expressed mixed reaction to the proposed national budget for the fiscal year 2025-26. At a press conference held this evening at the CPD office in the capital, the organization's executive director, Dr. Fahmida Khatun, welcomed the proposal to raise the general tax-free income threshold. She also appreciated the proposal to set the tax-free income limit at 5,25,000 taka for the July warriors. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has said the July Charter will be announced by reaching consensus with all political parties. He made the remarks while delivering his opening speech at a dialogue of the National Consensus Commission at the Foreign Service Academy this afternoon. The Chief Advisor said the government hopes that it will be able to proclaim the July Charter, minimizing distance among the political parties. He stressed maintaining firm national unity to find a path of prosperity for the nation.
সবাই মিলে বাংলাদেশের প্রকৃত ভবিষ্যৎ রচনা করা হচ্ছে। এটা আমাকে শিহরণ জাগায় যে এরকম একটা কাজে আমি জড়িত হতে পেরেছি, নিজেকে যুক্ত করতে পেরেছি। সব মিলিয়ে শেষ পর্যন্ত আমরা জুলাই সনদ করব, এইটাই হলো আমাদের লক্ষ্য, যেখানে আমরা সবার ঐকমত্যগুলো তুলে ধরব। এই দ্বিতীয় পর্বের যে এই আলাপটা নিয়ে যেটুকু তফাৎ ছিল, দূরত্ব ছিল, সেই দূরত্বকে গুছিয়ে এনে যাতে আমাদের জুলাই সনদে বর্তমানে যতগুলো ঐকমত্যের বিষয় আছে তার মধ্যে যে আরও কিছু যোগ করতে পারে, দেখতে সুন্দর লাগবে, জাতীয় একটা সনদ হলো, অনেকগুলো বিষয়ে আমরা একমত হতে পেরেছি। জাতি হিসেবে আমরা গর্বিত জাতি হিসেবে দাঁড়াতে পারে যে আমরা তো এরকম বিভক্তিকরণের প্রক্রিয়ার মধ্যে রাজনীতি সৃষ্টি করিনি, আমরা সৃষ্টি করছি ঐক্যবদ্ধ হওয়ার জন্য, দেশের উন্নতির জন্য, দেশের মঙ্গলের জন্য। কিভাবে সে ঐক্য ধরে রাখা, দুঃখকে শক্ত করা, মজবুত করা, জাতি যেন দেখতে পারে যারা আমরা আজকের দিনে এখানে আছি তারা সবাই মিলে কি কি জিনিসের ব্যাপারে আমরা ঐক্যমতে পৌঁছতে পেরেছি। এটা আমাদের জাতীয় এজেন্ডা হিসেবে থাকবে ভবিষ্যতের জন্য, যাতে করে আমরা এটা পূর্ণ করতে পারি।
National Consensus Commission Vice Chairman Professor Ali Riaz said the Commission continues its effort to announce the July Charter in July next, as the tenure of the Commission will conclude in August of 2025.
কিন্তু আমরা জুলাই মাসের মধ্যেই জুলাই সনদ তৈরি করতে সচেষ্ট। দেশের সামগ্রিক পরিস্থিতি এবং জনগণের আকাঙ্ক্ষার বিবেচনায় আমাদের দরকার দ্রুততার সাথে আমাদের উপর অর্থাৎ কমিশন এবং আপনাদের উপর অর্পিত দায়িত্ব সম্পন্ন করা।
Leaders of various political parties, including BNP and Jamaat, participated in the discussion. At the event, law advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul presented the implementation of his ministry's reform programs. Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor, Monir Haidar, conducted the program. Leaders of various political parties briefed journalists outside the Foreign Service Academy after the political parties' meeting with Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus. At the time, they said that the meeting demanded national election after the necessary reforms for the elections.
সকল বিষয়ে যদি ঐক্যমত সৃষ্টি হয় সকল রাজনৈতিক দলের মধ্যে, স্টেক হোল্ডারদের মধ্যে, তাহলে হবে সেটা একটা অনন্য অপূর্ব জিনিস। সেটা আমি এতটা বেশি আশা করতে পারবো না, কারণ বিভিন্ন মতাদর্শে বিশ্বাসী বিভিন্ন রাজনৈতিক দলের বিভিন্ন রকমের বক্তব্য থাকবে, দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি থাকবে, দৃষ্টিকোণ থাকবে। ডিসেম্বরের ভিতরে নির্বাচন অনুষ্ঠান করা জাতীয় সংসদের খুবই সম্ভব, এবং এর আগেই জরুরি ভিত্তিতে যে সমস্ত সংস্কার করা প্রয়োজন, বিশেষ করে নির্বাচনমুখী, সেই সংস্কারগুলোকে চিহ্নিত করে আমরা ঐক্যমতের মাধ্যমে সেগুলো বাস্তবায়ন করি, এবং সেই এমন কোনো সংস্কার নাই যেগুলো এক মাসের মধ্যে বাস্তবায়ন করা সম্ভব হবে না।
জুলাই সনদ কার্যকর হওয়ার আগে নির্বাচনের তারিখ ঘোষণা করা ঠিক হবে না। জুলাই সনদ ঘোষণার আগে যদি নির্বাচনের তারিখ ঘোষিত হয় তাহলে সংস্কার প্রক্রিয়া ব্যাহত হতে পারে। তাই আমরা আহ্বান জানিয়েছি যে 16 বছর আমরা অপেক্ষা করেছি, 10 মাস অপেক্ষা করেছি, আমরা আরও 2 মাস অপেক্ষা করতে চাই এবং সরকারকে সময় দিতে চাই সকল রাজনৈতিক দল মিলে এই 2 মাসের মধ্যে আমাদের যে জুলাই সনদ, যেখানে জনগণ তার ভবিষ্যৎ বাংলাদেশের রূপরেখা, শাসন ব্যবস্থা পরিবর্তনের মৌলিক সংস্কারের রূপরেখা দেখতে পারবে, সেই জুলাই সনদ হওয়ার পরে একই সাথে আমরা তখন নির্বাচনের তারিখটি যাতে সরকার ঘোষণা করে আমরা সেই দাবি জানিয়েছি।
আমরা ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ ইউনূস প্রধান উপদেষ্টার প্রতি আমাদের আস্থার কথা পুনর্ব্যক্ত করেছি। আমাদের পক্ষ থেকে আমরা বলেছি জুন এবং মে মাস আবহাওয়াগতভাবে নির্বাচন অনুষ্ঠানের জন্য উপযোগী নয়। তাহলে মে জুন বাদ দিলে ওনার যে কমিটমেন্ট আছে, কমিটমেন্টের যে টাইম লাইন সেটা হচ্ছে ডিসেম্বর থেকে এপ্রিল, এর মাঝে একটি রোজা আছে এবং আমরা বলেছি আমরা এর ভিতরেই আপনি একটা ডেট ঘোষণা করবেন।
Images of 6 newly designed banknotes were handed over to Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus today. Bangladesh Bank Governor Dr. Ahsanej Mansoor, accompanied by Finance Advisor Saleh-Uddin Ahmed, Law Advisor Asif Nazrul, Chittagong Hill Tract CHTFS Advisor Shupradip Chakma and Local Government Advisor Asif Mahmood Shajib Bhuiya handed over these notes to the Chief Advisor following a meeting of the Advisory Council at the Chief Advisor's office today. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami has regained its rights through the court's verdict, said Dr. A.H.M. Hamidur Rahman Azad, Assistant Secretary-General of the party. He made the statement while speaking to reporters today after a meeting with Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin at the Election Commission headquarters in Agargaon. A 6-member delegation from Jamaat-e-Islami took part in the meeting. Dr. Hamidur Rahman Azad said The Jamaat-e-Islami is now, as before, a registered political party. He added that the Election Commission has assured them that the Supreme Court's verdict will be implemented as soon as possible. The High Court has upheld the death sentence of dismissed officer in charge of Teknaf Police Station, Pradeep Kumar Dash, and dismissed inspector of the Shamlapur Police Camp, Liaquat Ali, in the sensational murder case of retired Major Sinha Mohammad Rashid Khan. The court also upheld the life imprisonment sentence of 6 other convicts in the case. The lifetime convicts are Sub-Inspector Nanda Dulal Rokshit, Constables Shagor Deb and Rubel Sharma, and 3 police sources, Nurul Amin, Nizamuddin and Ayazuddin. The bench, comprising Justice Mohammad Mustafizur Rahman and Justice Mohammad Sagir Hussain, announced the verdict today. Earlier, on the 31st of January in 2022, the Court of Cox's Bazar District and Sessions Judge Mohammad Ismail sentenced 2 accused to death and 6 others to life in jail. The court also acquitted 7 accused, including a sub-inspector and 2 constables of the Armed Police Battalion and 4 constables of the police in the case. Sinha was killed in police firing at Shamlapur checkpost in Teknaf's Baharchora on Cox's Bazar Marine Drive Road on the 31st of July in 2020.
পানির অপর নাম জীবন। আমাদের দেশে কৃষি